Welcome to, by the way, with Beth and Stacey. We're having fun today.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Early Wine. I don't even know what's happening right now.
I know.
How did we lose our train of thought already?
I don't know. My mind was wandering as I was waiting on the show to start because I'm, excited about what we're going to talk about. And I was like focusing on that instead of.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Everyone.
It's funny how we'll just be sitting here. The next thing you know, it's like, oh, what about this? And then so we have to start. But we're both bad. Mm-hmm. We're both bad because, like, if we don't write something down,
it's gone forever.
It's gone.
Gone forever.
I'm not kidding you guys. Even whenever we do write stuff down, 2 days later, I'll be like, what were we?
I know.
I may not have my stuff right in front of me. And so I'm like, what were we gonna do something?
I've started where I gotta write it in my phone. I put it on my calendar because then it doesn't go anywhere and I remember it. But like last week, I wrote notes for this week on my papers from last week, which then got put in my bag.
Sure.
Which then I didn't look at for an entire week.
Sure.
So then you and I were talking and we're like, wait, what did we say? And I was like, where's my bag? I don't know. But I always have my phone. So
I have my bag. I've got my little bag that's completely organized. It's got little slots and stuff in it. So I've got a system now.
Yeah.
Because I actually found I went to Mrs. Stringer. Nancy Stringer was having a garage sale.
Oh, really?
And I found the perfect size desk. So I went ahead and bought that desk. And it's an older desk. It's cute in that little Connor's old bedroom. And I am organized.
Oh, good.
You know the best part about that desk is?
What?
Jim's stupid laptops are off my island in my kitchen.
Oh, good. He has more than one laptop? Okay.
It's Jim. I don't know why.
Well, he probably has one for one use and another for another use and another for
I would imagine one's for, like, music. And the other's for preaching.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's a man of many hats and many computers, I suppose.
He is. It's been funny. It's like crazy how May is an insane month.
It is an insane month.
I think it's the busiest.
I think it is the busiest, too. And it's always busy with graduations and baccalaureate and Mother's Day and any graduation parties and then weddings, which we threw a wedding into our May for this year. So, I mean, it's just like May is so busy. And the kids, the last day of school, and then they have all of these events leading up to the last day of school that they have to attend or dress up for or finals or whatever. Right. And then, and also this year it was like, hey, go ahead and sell 500 candy bars too in May. That'd be
what was that candy bar sale about?
That was for the Band-Aids for the junior high band. Like, and I get it, it's a good cause, but it's like May, really? So in the midst of all this, we're selling, a bunch of candy bars, and then talking about band, then you have band concerts. You have
lots of band concerts,
all these things, and it's like Little League's already started.
Yeah.
It is very busy, and it's like every night we have something going on. And honestly, I'm ready for June.
You're ready for June?
I'm ready for June.
Well, you probably need to get this wedding finished. A wedding is stressful for the mother of the bride.
I'm excited about the wedding. I really, truly am. But it has been like a lot to think about and a lot to get ready for and make sure that we didn't forget anything and that everyone in my family has something to wear and everyone has shoes that match. And it's just like...
See, that's what I can't even imagine. Yeah, because I'm just thinking once you get... It's not like you're just getting Malia done, but you got to take care of everybody else.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done a wedding.
Yeah, well, and
I've never done a wedding.
My hope for you is that you will never have to.
Well, Mac and Paige went to Disney World and got married. That was awesome.
Yes.
I was like, hey, what do you want me to do? And she's like, oh, just show up. Paid for some. I don't even know. I think I just paid for some. I don't even know what I did. I was like, tell me what you want me to do, and I'll do it. And but my daughter-in-law is on the ball. Do. My daughter-in-law is. If you need something organized.
She's your girl.
She's my go-to girl. Yeah, she'll take care. She'll take care of everything. Yeah, she's great. I have the best daughter-in-law. Connor is not married yet, so I don't know. We were talking. He was home for Mother's Day, and we were talking about that. And he's got a girlfriend, I think, that's kind of serious right now. And and I'm like, well, if you're ever even, he's like, I think she doesn't want a wedding. She just wants to run off. I'm like,
perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
But I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, but don't get me wrong. Like, I am excited about the wedding, but it's just
tiring, though.
Yeah, well, it's just like the stress of like, did you forget anything? Is there anything we wanted to do? Is there like, does the bride and the groom have everything figured out for what they're doing next, where they're going to live, and like there's just a lot. And
you know what it comes down to? As long as Malia's there, the groom's there, Jim Early Wine's there, and the paper for them to sign that they're married's there.
Right.
That's literally all that matters.
Right.
And cake.
Yeah. The cake is really important.
Is your mom not making it?
My mom is making the cupcakes, and Laura Harrison is making the cake, which will be fantastic. She's great.
Yeah, she does a lot of cakes.
Yeah. So, yep, it is. That part is covered, and it's gonna be good.
And nothing's outside. I'll never forget my sister Linda. She got married. I think the first time she got married the 22nd, 23rd of June, 1981. She was getting married. My uncle Harry Hemphill lived out at Fox Creek. He was one of the original founders of Fox Creek out there, and a beautiful pond and stuff that's out there. And so Linda was going to get married outside at Little Harry's. That's what we called him. My grandfather's name was Harry. They called him Big Harry. Of course, then his first son was Harry, and they called him Little Harry. Okay, so Big Harry and Little Harry. So we were doing that. It rained the first 21 days of June.
Oh my gosh.
They couldn't even have a rehearsal.
Oh my gosh.
They could not set up for Linda's wedding.
I bet it was a soggy old mess out there.
Well, Little Harry kind of sets up high. It was not. The day Linda got married, I think the 22nd, we all got ready out at Uncle Little Harry's and stuff. And of course, weddings back then aren't nothing compared to what they are now, right? And the 22nd was beautiful.
Oh, good.
I don't remember anybody sinking in the chairs. Everything, white chairs, I remember were put out there. Linda and David, she married David Knapp, Travis's dad. They got married and everything. Everything was great. We didn't do like the receptions with the cake and punch. Yeah. Now, Jim and I had a big blowout band and everything, but that was a different story. But at the Legion. But anyway, but back then you just got married, you went back inside, you had cake, you had punch, and then everybody went on their way. And then it rained the 23rd of June and rained the entire month that Linda got married. The only day that it did not rain was the day she got married.
That's incredible.
Which I think was June 22nd. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Wow, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is like where we're having the reception, there is an outdoor area, but it's all covered. So, I mean, even if people are out there, it's covered. Yeah. It would have to be really storming and blowing in to get wet.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, this last weekend, Mother's Day weekend, Jim and I took off. A friend of mine, Becky Phillips, got married, and Jim... It's so funny. I put Jim married Becky Phillips.
I saw that on Facebook. Her Facebook was like, Jim married Becky Phillips. What she meant was he married them.
He married them.
But it made it sound like he married her. And somebody commented.
Somebody said, Greg Beer put on there, Stacey, I thought he was married to you. It's like, well, he's been trying to get out of that for 37 years. But Jim's like, it's cheaper to keep her. But anyway, that's so funny because I was like, Jim married Becky Phillips Hawkins, and it was beautiful. And the picture, of course, didn't even have Jim. It was me and Becky. And so anyway, but Greg, I'm like, oh my gosh, it does sound like my husband married. No, he married her and Jeff. And so then after the wedding was over, we ate, and then Jim and I took off, and we had the camper down there. We stayed at this. Gosh, I can't remember, but we loved it. It was down like in Goreville.
It's pretty down there.
So I love this camping. This camping area was awesome, and so we're gonna go back. But anyway, and wine country. So literally after the wedding, I was like, he was driving Miss Stacey. We just went from winery to winery, and my gosh, you want to talk about beautiful wedding venues? We ended up the last one we went to was Alta, but we went to a bunch of different.
Yeah, that sounds
fun. Those
fun.
wineries are a lot of work. They're beautiful. Spectacular. Southern Illinois wine country. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the whole thing. But anyway, so we had a good time there. Then we packed up early Sunday morning. Mother's Day, came home. We had the exchange student, Sarah, who was from Italy, and she graduated. So we got back. I was exhausted. Mother's Day, I want to wake up, go to church, come home, and not do nothing. So I had to get up, pack the camper, pull it back, come home, take a shower, go to graduation, go to graduation parties. And then my kids took me and Jim out. Connor came home. We went out for Mother's Day at the Mexican restaurant and ate.
Mother's Day, I just want to say something about Mother's Day. I hate it.
You don't like Mother's Day?
It's my least favorite holiday.
I don't like Mother's Day anymore now that my mom's gone.
Yeah, well, that would make it even worse.
Yeah, I actually forgot when Jim and I took off to go camping. Yeah, nothing's going on. I didn't even realize it was Mother's Day because without my mom, it's just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the second one without my mom, and I just don't.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I just don't mess with it.
I just feel like it's so much running, and I do want to see people. I do. I love going to see people and seeing Jason's mom, dad, my mom, dad. But then you throw in a couple graduation parties into that day.
It's too much.
And church in the morning, and then you have these graduation parties, and I didn't even attend the ceremony, although I kind of wanted to see. I knew the valedictorian, and I wanted to see her speech, but
it was cute.
Yeah, and
Katie Buskoff did a great job.
And yeah,
it was awesome.
I heard it was great, and it's just so much in one day. And I think, I think if there was a year where I didn't have the graduation or graduation parties to go in there, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But I just felt like at the end of the day, I was like, deep breath.
See, now Jim and I, when my dad was alive, when Jim's parents are still living, my parents have both passed. But like when it came to Mother's Day and Father's Day, we split up. You have a mom, I have a mom. You go visit your mom, I'll stay. You go see your dad, I'll stay with. I've got my dad. We always split on Mother's Day. And now my mom, like I said, she died 2 years ago. And then Father's Day, my dad died in '97, actually this month in '97, and so we, I would go see Jim's dad on Father's Day, but never Mother's Day. I've never spent Mother's Day with my mother-in-law, and Jim, I think, is going tonight to visit her because it was so busy. But I'm not.
It's just hard to fit everything in.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope. My mother was like, "Oh, I don't want anything, but I want you to come over and I want you to wash every window."
I remember that. She put you girls to work on Mother's Day. I remember one year she was like, "I have all of these bricks. It was bricks or paving stones. She wanted them moved across the yard or something. So that's what you all had to go do on Mother's Day.
Yeah. And then one year she was like, "Oh, I need my hostas split up. Let's put the hostas." Yeah. So basically, Mother's Day my entire life has been working. And Linda and I are like, "Mom, we're mothers too." And she's like, "Yeah, but I'm the queen mother." I'm like, "Okay, whatever you want, Mom." Cute. That's terrible to be that way. But yeah, I'm just like, and Connor, and I didn't even tell the boys. I'm like, Mac's like, "Hey, Mom, are you going to work Saturday?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh, so Connor's coming home. We're going to go out for lunch." I'm like, "Oh, I'm not going to be." He's like, "Mom," and I'm like, "Well, Becky's getting married and Dad's marrying Becky, and we're just I'm not gonna be here." Yeah, I didn't tell my boys because it literally just didn't even.
Yeah, it didn't even resonate that it was Mother's Day. Yeah.
No. Okay, so I went back to an old black and white.
Okay. Ad for today.
Ad for today. It's another deodorant ad because I've never heard of this. New Mom cream deodorant. When did we? And see how it? And then it's like in a little puck thing. No deodorant worries now. Look, she's got that black dress. When did they start making deodorant where it didn't rub off on your clothes? Not till like the
1997.
90s. New Finer Mum stops odor longer. Now contains amazing new ingredients. M3 to protect underarms against odor-causing bacteria.
Also, it probably gave you cancer.
Probably. Protects better, longer. New Mum now contains amazing ingredients. M3 for more effective protection. Doesn't give underarm odor a chance to start. Softer, creamier. New Mum is gentle. Contains no harsh ingredients. Probably not. Will not rot or discolor finest fabrics. The only leading deodorant that contains no water to dry out or decrease its efficiency. No waste. No shrinkage. That's a weird thing. Delicately fragrant. What?
I'm never worried about shrinkage with my deodorant. I don't know what that means.
Right? Delicately fragrant. New Mum is usable, wonderful to the last fingertip full. Get New Mum today. This is a New Mum deodorant product of Bristol Myers. Guaranteed by Good Housekeeping.
All right.
I don't know. I saw the ad. I'm like, ooh, is this a jewelry ad or what is that?
Ty, put it back up for a second.
No,
it's
deodorant.
Talk about her diamonds. Look at that. She's got her black gloves on and then a diamond bracelet on each wrist.
I'm in love.
Look at her earrings. Yeah.
And I think she's probably putting a fur wrap around her.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that's got to be a diamond ad. Nope, deodorant.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll be right back, and we're going to talk a little bit about the International Shoe Factory of Flora, Illinois. We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today's show is all about the International Shoe Factory. The shoe factory was in Flora for many, many years, and many, many, many people were employed there.
Oh, yeah.
It was maybe the number one employer for a while.
I would say so.
And so we are going to talk about the history of the shoe factory and show some pictures.
I love the pictures of the shoe factory.
I love the pictures too. So,
awesome.
Okay, so a lot of people just refer to this as the shoe factory, but it's actually called the International Shoe Company, the ICS, and they were the world's largest shoe manufacturer for many years. So not just the nation. It says the world.
The world.
The world's largest shoe manufacturer.
So if you take in consideration, we did the apple orchard was worldwide, and now our shoe factory is worldwide. Flora, go Clay County.
Yeah, but we were just one location of the shoe factory. Like almost every town had their own. Okay.
Boo.
Yeah. So the company began in 1911 as a merger between the Roberts, Johnson, and Rand Shoe Company and Peters Shoe Company, and then later on in the 1960s, it changed its name to Interco. Now, the ICS had many factories, including Springfield. At its peak in 1930, the plant produced 4,500 pairs of shoes a day and employed 650 people. This was at Springfield. So, and then it closed in 64. West Plains, Missouri, the company built 14 new plants between 1946 and 51, including one in Salem and another in Hamilton. Those are all in Missouri. I had a lot of trouble finding the actual history of the shoe company. I mean, I've got some articles here that I'm going to read through that were local. We found tons of pictures, but the whole thing that I wanted to know was who started the company?
Right.
Where did they live? And why did they start it? I wanted to go way back and really dig into the origins. And someone out there has that information. But I did a lot of digging in the past 2 weeks. I've been working on this for 2 weeks. And I seriously found like next to nothing about like the real origins of the company. I found a lot of stuff about local and people that work there and great pictures. And we're going to go into all of that. But the whole thing, I don't have a lot of information about like the very early years, like way back in the early 1900s. Like, because
who was the building built specifically?
Yeah, I think
for the shoe factory. I think it was.
The Flora factory opened in 1923. Okay. So let's see. There's been some debate about let's show one of the pictures that I sent in, Ty, that has the women. Mainly women employees in it. Yeah, let's look at that. This is the fitting department, and you can see that they are all women. I didn't look real close. There's a few men in the front, but there's mainly women. There's 75 they have signs up that say 75. It doesn't specify what this means. Okay, so there was debate about what it stood for. Some people thought, well, maybe it meant that they were 75 years old. But if you did the math, that doesn't make sense because this photo was taken in 1933. And if it was the 75th anniversary, then that meant that shoe factory opened in 1858, and we know that's not true. So we think maybe they were celebrating. It was like a promotional ploy aiming to sell over 75 million shoes.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is from September 1933.
Are you surprised that many women are working?
Yeah.
In 33?
In 33.
Well, because what war would we know?
No,
we're in between wars.
Between World War I and World War II.
Yeah, so that's...
And some of the women look very young.
They do look young, but I'm surprised there's that many women working.
Yeah, and this was the fitting department. But, and then I'll show another picture later on that looks almost the same, but it's a different department. You can tell there's different people in it. But
and apparently there was a fence around there. You can see the fence post.
Yeah. And... just like they're all dressed in, I know it's a black and white photo, but they're dressed in like kind of like a light white color. I don't know if that was like a dress code or if it was just like that by department. I mean, maybe this was like light pink or white and everyone in that department wore, but the other department looks about the same too. Maybe it was just the time period.
Because the men are all,
Let's go ahead and look at that other picture. Tie that's very similar to this one. Yeah, it's not quite as clear, but this is the packing department. Same day, same signs, but you can tell it's different people.
Oh, so the 75 million club.
Yeah. So this is what I'm going to read about is the 75 million.
Huh.
But
still a lot of women.
Rena Thomas wrote this, but yeah, still a lot of women, just a different department. So they think that it was a ploy aiming 75 million pairs of international shoes. So according to a report in the Flora newspaper dated September 1933, it read where Superintendent E.C. Weber of the local international shoe company presented an outline of the plans to a special committee for a celebration in Flora to be known as International Day, International Shoe Company Day, which was to be held September 23rd of that year. The large showroom of Ira Brooks Motor Company was secured as a showplace for the company's vast exhibit of shoes and boots produced in their 44 factories. So there was 44. I know they were in St. Louis, all through different parts of Missouri, Springfield, Salem. I think Olney had one. They were all over Southern Illinois. The company boasted over 4,000 different styles of shoes for men, women, and children in dress, semi-dress, and work patterns. Brand names that were made by the International Shoe Company were Roberts, Johnson & Rand, Peters, Friedman Shelby, Vitality, Queen Quality, and Dorothy Dodd. I think those were earlier brands. And later on, I think Florsheim was one of them that they did. I don't know, but these were ones from the early years. They also, for International Day, they made plans to involve business floats and decorated cars for a huge parade. So they were planning this big day to celebrate all these millions of shoes, and that is the day that they invited that Robert Wadlow of Alton to come. Remember, we talked about him. The
tall guy.
When we talked about famous people episode, the famous people that came to Flora, we mentioned him, and then the other, the tallest woman. Yeah, so he was a 15-year-old boy, and he was 7 feet 8 inches tall, and he weighed 265 pounds. Now, this day and age... Yeah,
do you remember what his shoe size was?
Yeah, I'm going to say that in a minute. But this day and age, 7, 8 isn't really like so crazy as it was then. Like, I think there's basketball players and stuff that are well over 7 feet tall. I think.
You think?
Yeah. I don't know. Am I wrong? Ty, Google that.
I don't know.
I feel like 7 feet is the old 6 feet.
Oh, no.
No? I don't know.
There's a few, but I think that
Okay.
I don't know. Kai's going to Google it.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I feel
I
like
don't know.
people are taller than they used to be.
Well, I don't think.
You don't think a whole foot? Okay, what do I know?
think so.
Anyway,
But I might be wrong.
this guy wore a size 34 shoe.
Right. Oh, I was going to say 33. 33 was in my
34 shoe. It was made especially for him by the International Shoe Company. So they knew him. They had a relationship with him. They were like, hey, we're having this special day in Flora, Illinois. We're having a parade. We're doing this big show of all of our products that we make, and we want you to come. And he did. I'm sure they paid him.
Sure.
It says early in the morning of the 23rd, a parade of 500 shoe company workers begun the festivities. So 500 people working there, probably more than that. That's just who started. So this was a huge employer in Florida. 500
Wait,
shoe.
I think he's done Googling.
Okay, what'd you find?
The average is still 5'6". So
The average is still 5'6". Okay.
Yeah.
But I wonder how many people are over 7 feet tall. I feel like it's more than it used to be. I don't know. All right. So
Well, LeBron James I can't think of any basketball except
No?
that tall, super skinny guy.
Oh, I think
that's-
they're also. Maybe I'm just crazy. I think they're all super tall.
Well, they are tall, but they're like
Okay,
6,
they're not that
7,
tall?
8, 9. Yeah.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. My
Keep
bad.
going.
Okay. So they.
it's estimated at least 200 Americans.
Oh, that's it.
200 Americans
Okay.
are over 7 foot.
So I was wrong.
This was a study done back in 21.
Back in 2021, there were 200 Americans over 7
And
feet
I
tall.
don't think we've exploded.
No. All right. Okay, so I was wrong about that. All right, so not that many people. So maybe if he was still around, that would be an interesting
Well, there you
person.
go. Yeah.
Okay. It was estimated to be 15 blocks long with over 200 floats and cars participating.
That's cool.
Okay, so 200 floats.
200
And
floats.
then you have the cars. Now let's compare that to today's Halloween parade that we have in
And
recent
there's
years.
about-
Not 200 floats. There's maybe 15 or 20 floats.
That's a high estimate.
A high
Probably.
estimate, maybe. And then there's
I was
cars.
going to go about 10.
How fast did this parade move, and how long did it take?
Too long for
a
me.
sounds like a math word problem that would be in 5th grade math.
Yeah, it
Okay.
does. Too long for me. I don't think I can stand there. I can barely make it through Halloween parade now.
The
Unless
par-
they're throwing out big Tootsie Rolls.
The parade was led by J.D. Cosby and Leo Allen. Leo Allen, that was who we talked about him in the cemetery tour this year. He ran the lumber yard for many years.
Stop right there. We're going to take a commercial break.
Okay, we'll be
and I
back.
want to hear about that because I
Okay.
don't know that story.
We'll be right
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County, Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about the International Shoe Factory, and we're mainly focusing on the one in Flora.
Yep.
It was a huge employer for many years.
Big old building.
Big old building. Big old building. But we were talking about the parade that they had for their 75 million club, their 75 million pairs of shoes thing that they were doing. They had this huge parade in town, and it was led by J.D. Cosby and Leo Allen, who were both on horseback. And it went right down the middle of North Main and North Avenue. And then they had these 75 number signs and circles all along the sides of the road. But this is the really amazing part. It was estimated that over 15,000 people enjoyed that parade.
In Flora?
Yes.
Downtown Flora?
The display of international shoe products and other festivities. Okay. 15,000.
Okay, that's 3 times our population now.
Uh-huh. Our population right now is 5,100.
What was the population of Flora back in?
I don't know what it was, but it was
somewhere
around there.
I think we still stay right in that area.
It might have been a little bit bigger, but not by much. So 15,000 people. They came from all over to see this parade.
Wow.
And it had over 200 floats in it. It had to take all morning or all afternoon or however. I don't know what time they started.
It would be all day long.
Uh-huh. So Rena says that you have to remember that in 1933 there was no new Highway 50.
No.
There was only Old Route 45 and Old Route 50, which went right through the middle of Flora.
Yeah.
So that would have no doubt added to the attendance. Because people that were traveling back and forth, like if they were going Benson's to St. Louis or whatever, they get to Flora, road's closed for a parade.
There's a parade. So back then it probably wasn't, they could just close down the road if they wanted to.
I guess.
I would imagine in 33.
I mean, it was a state highway, and they closed it down for a parade. So all of the people that were traveling that day were like for hours, because this parade wouldn't have gotten over in less than an hour. They just probably parked the car and was like, let's see what's going on. This town's having a festival. It's like that song Watermelon Crawl, where they end up at the Watermelon Festival.
Yeah.
And then they learn to do the Watermelon Crawl.
Yeah.
That's like what this kind of would have been.
Yeah.
You just end up here and let's get out and see what's happening.
Yep.
Maybe I'll learn a new dance.
Looks like Ty's Googling something. That looks like a lot of words and stuff I don't even want to look at.
So it says a total of 75 local businessmen and merchants did their part in making the 75 Million Club a success by offering numerous prizes and free gifts. Mm-hmm. So it was a great promotion for the company.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Let's look at some pictures.
In 1920, Clay County had 17,000 people.
Clay
County had 17,000 in 1920.
I can't find
Flora.
Okay.
Okay. So Clay County had 17,000 in 1920, but that includes a lot of towns.
That would be about right.
Yeah.
Probably.
Let's
that
pull up some pictures and talk about them, Ty. We're going to look at the, this is the shoe factory through the years. So let's.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't know. Did you have a date on this one, Stacey? You sent this one in, no date.
No, I don't have any dates.
But judging from those cars.
It's got to be early.
It's early.
The 20s.
20s, 30s.
And look how nice that building looks.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the building's in great shape there. And it's always had those, of course, there was no air conditioning, but they always had those large swing out windows, which I think, especially the ones higher up, you probably got a really good cross breeze going because these windows were on all sides of the building. Right. So if you opened up a lot of windows, there would be a good cross breeze going right through.
And I like the way that they built the buildings. You know, it's kind of different type shape. I wish we knew who built the building.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe somebody will have some information on that.
It was probably, I mean, based out of St. Louis, it was probably just the same contractors that went from town to town building them because, my gosh, the one in Salem looked, I think there was one in Marion. They all look almost exactly the same.
That's cool.
Okay, let's see another one. Okay, so this is a little bit later on. This is probably the 60s, but look at the full parking lot.
I'd say this is the 40s. Look at the cars. Don't you think that'd be more the 40s?
No.
Because I don't think cars look like that in the 60s.
50s, maybe?
Yeah, maybe 40s, 50s. That's probably a different angle, too.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Well, no, because that building, see, like right behind the tree, you can see that tower. This is just a little bit.
Yeah,
you can see the tower.
It's just a little farther out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a little farther out.
But this gives you an idea how big this building was. It was big. It was really big. Okay, and this was on the South Main.
Yeah, this set on South Main Street. I remember this.
So here's another view. You got your smokestack there and your water tower. That's a cool picture because...
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out, I wonder which side this is on. Because, see, the houses are over there to the right, so I bet that's Main Street right there. So this is almost like where that empty field is at, because none of those houses, those little houses weren't built there. The Medley house, the Medley family lived across the street. But see, you can just see that little house on the right side. I'd say where those trees were at was where.
I didn't notice that water tower in other pictures. Did you?
No, and the smokestack wasn't always there.
Yeah.
But I remembered as a child the water tower being there. But yeah, to the right it would be South Main, and then the building would be built out. But it looks behind it because it looks like there's a brick road behind it. You see to the left. Doesn't that look like a brick road right there, or would that be? Or
looks like a concrete sidewalk to me, but
does it? It's either that or that could be train cars. Because where that north to south Springfield to Shawneetown train go?
Yeah, maybe they're standing on top of a train taking the picture.
Because if the shoe factory's right there, I bet that's what that is. I bet that's a train. Because then that train track is traveling down south, and that way it's angling would be going down across the reservoir. So I bet that is right behind there. That train track goes right. Yeah. That follows South Main. So I bet they're on top of a train. Now that I look at it, because you can see like it looks like the top of something, then a dark spot, and the top of something else. I bet that is that north to south Shawneetown train. I love that picture.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, did you find this one or did I find this one?
You found it.
I love
this
that
is one
picture.
Of yours.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look at another one.
Yeah, and then there's that.
Yeah, and this one you do see the water tower, but you're obviously on the other side of the building.
And see where it says International, that is the north side of the building. So if you were traveling south down South Main, that's what you'd see when you came up to.
Yeah.
Says
very
that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the water tower is behind it. And that's an early picture because look back at the cars again. We go back to the earlies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an early one. And I feel like maybe the smokestack was added later.
He was added later, yeah. So do we have any other ones?
Yeah, we got 2 more.
Ooh, look at this side. Okay, so here we are again. So where the shoe factory's at, where that car is at right there to the left of me is Fair Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like there's the shoe factory. And then you're going a little bit, because that tower, because like right, if you were to leave where those 2 cars on the left is at, there's some houses built there, but they came a long time ago. That was all an empty field. So where that car right to my left, just right this way, that car right there, that's actually sitting on Fair Avenue. But now if you would just go, I turn down that road every day of my life. Yeah, that would be, that's, so now you're looking at the south.
Okay.
The south side of it again.
Yeah, and the smokestack's definitely there, and the water tower is nicely hidden by that tree.
Yeah.
So, one more picture? Okay.
And that's still you're looking at it from the south side. Because my assumption is when you go in there, like that's probably all office buildings when you first go in that weird tower looking thing, then the rest is all probably factory.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
And I think at some point some of that sticks out was torn off before the rest of it.
I believe so too.
This building is completely demolished now. There's nothing left of it. Years leading up to the demolishing of it, it was used as storage and people had some things stored in there, but eventually it was, I think, deemed unsafe and torn down.
Well, because you had, people, go in there.
People probably.
As a child in the south end of town, when the shoe factory shut down, it's one of our main stomping grounds where we would play and get in trouble. And you could get it, you crawl inside the windows, and and so it really wasn't safe. Grant, and what are you going to do with that building now? Because you're talking. It was a huge building. Granted, would I have loved for it not to be torn down? Yes. But the inside was getting dangerous, and you're talking a building like that's going to have to be completely upgraded, and it costs millions of dollars for that. But it is gone. But I do love the fact that we have the pictures. It's pretty cool.
A little bit more information on it. In 1962, the International Shoe Company had 8 factories in Illinois, with a total workforce of 6,512 people. The plants were in the cities of Anna. Anna had 400 employees.
Okay.
Evansville, Illinois, I guess, because this is talking about Illinois. I don't know where Evansville, Illinois is.
I didn't know we had an Evansville, Illinois.
355 employees there. Flora, we had 370 employees, it says. That's in 1962. Now, earlier years, I think that there were maybe more. Not sure. Hartford, again, I don't know where Hartford, Illinois is.
Oh, neither.
320 employees there. Quincy, 523 employees. So they had a really big one in Quincy. Springfield, Illinois, 450 employees. Mount Vernon, it was the second biggest, 494 employees. And a subsidiary called the Florsheim Shoe Company with 2 factories in Chicago, 3,600 employees there at those 2 factories. But today, there is not one single shoe factory in Illinois.
Really?
Heck, there's probably not one in the entire United States.
Probably not. It's all coming from China. And
yeah. I mean, surely
Indonesia
we have at least one in the U.S., but not many.
Not many.
No.
All our shoes come from across the seas now.
Yeah. So that makes me sad. But
it does make you sad.
This is a cool part of our history and
big part of Flora's history.
Yeah. I'm pretty much everybody that is from Flora knows somebody that worked at the shoe factory.
Yeah.
Or their aunt worked there, or their grandma worked there, or my mom worked there for years, and
my Aunt Jean worked there. I think I could probably go down the list of the. Yeah. I do know my Aunt Jean worked there, but I really am surprised at the amount of women that worked. I mean, I thought women pretty much joined the workforce after World War II started when they had to.
No, there seemed to be a lot.
Our girl back there, We Can Do It, which would have been in the late 30s, 40s. I had no idea that women worked so much in that 20s and 30s.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But
wonder what the average salary was.
I don't know. I don't have that. But I mean, and they for years, it was in the newspaper. Like there's a reunion. They had regular reunions of shoe factory employees. Even when I worked at the Hometown Journal, that would say, our reunion. They would do it like monthly, I think, like get together for coffee and stuff. Like all of the old shoe factory workers.
That's cool.
For all I know, do you think there's any that there could be? There still could be some.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that are out there that are. They may still get together on a regular basis.
Of that. Because when did you say it shut down?
I know. I don't think that I said the year that it shut down in Flora because. I don't know it. I never came across that in my research, the exact year it shut down. There's probably people that remember it, but I don't know.
I remember, and I was born in 1967, and I lived in the south end of town in 1969. I've been in the south end of town since I was 2 years old. And I remember the shoe factory. I remember it being not being producing, and then I do remember vaguely. I'll have to ask my sisters, when it was actually going, because they always had that whistle, and I remember the whistle as a little girl. You had the noon whistle, which you and I would love to bring back because we love it. But the shoe factory had a distinct.
Oh, okay.
And it went off, I think, 3 times a day in the morning, and then it went off at the noon time, and then when they were going to work, lunchtime, and then when they were leaving work. I think it went off 3 times a day.
Oh, cool.
And it almost sounded like a train whistle.
Neat.
So, yeah, it was really cool. But we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Pegel's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Pegel Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas.
What?
You better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We've been discussing the International Shoe Factory in Flora, and I mentioned that there was one in Evansville, Illinois, which we didn't know where that was, but our assistants here found out that it is over by Belleville.
I had no clue.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
So
I was fixing
it must
to
be
say,
pretty little.
You've lost your mind, is what I was getting ready to say.
No. It's
She
here.
hadn't lost it.
I might not know about tall people, but I know other things. Oh, shoot.
Everybody's 7 foot tall. That was funny. That was funny, Beth.
All right.
So I came across there's a beautiful lady that lives in Sailor Springs, and you guys are probably familiar with Mrs. Linda Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
She is a sweet, sweet, sweet woman, which we need to probably make another trip to Linda's house.
Yep.
I love this woman, and she wrote for the Hometown Journal, and she wrote little columns. It was called Back Then in Sailor Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Sailor Springs is my favorite spot in Clay County, as everybody knows.
Yes.
So whenever it's like one of those things where it's like these are the perfect little articles to end on.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we don't have, the Shoe Factory is enough to almost do a full episode, but not quite.
Yep.
And these are not, you have to do 10 of these to do an episode.
Right.
So it's perfect to do some ending on.
Yep.
So I'm going to read this column, Back Then in Sailor Springs by Linda Davidson. Back then in Sailor Springs, there were several service stations for the car, a place where you could buy gas. The customers would stop by and say, "Fill her up." Big signs saying gasoline were printed on big boards. A popular service station was Phillips Garage. It was on the main street in town. It was very near a spring. This spring would be known as the Phillips Spring. Frank and Velma Phillips ran the garage. Frank was a good car repair, changing oil, and assisting with gasoline for the car. It was a full-service station. The Phillips family kept pretty busy in the early days of their business. This is amazing that this is all these people were in Sailor Springs.
I know, like they had multiple gas stations. I mean, people just don't think about it anymore. But this town now has like hardly anything but just a few houses there.
Right.
But back in the day, for those that haven't learned about Sailor Springs, you should go back and watch. We have 2 different episodes on Sailor Springs. Go through our YouTube page. They're all labeled, and you can find them because it was an amazing place back in the day.
Richest history, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Across the street was the Payne and Kelly garage. Bronson Kelly and Mort Payne ran this garage. They did a lot of car repair in their time. Their garage was always full of cars to be repaired. You could always get gas there and an oil change. The Kelly Payne garage was across the street from the Dillman Funeral Home. It still stands today. It has always been the community hall to me. As far back as I could remember, it has been the place for get-togethers, school plays, parties, meetings, voting, showers, anniversary parties, preaching, revival, meetings, and the Sailor Springs Ruralton Club started there in 1985. I do remember where there is that one concrete. There are a few buildings still standing there. I do remember that one. The village of Sailor Springs took it over, made changes, and kept it for a few years. Recently, it was sold, and there are great plans for it once again. It is a very important part of the Sailor Springs history. So glad it will be repaired and saved. I'm going to look and see when this paper was. This would be interesting to find. So this paper I'm reading from is the Hometown Journal from Thursday, May 27th, 2004. So 20 years ago. Which that would have been at the time the women of Sailor Springs were refurbishing, trying to bring Sailor Springs back.
Yep.
A major blessing for Sailor Springs history. Soon there will be fun activities in the community hall once again. Soon we will all get to hear the Wabash Pioneers again play their beautiful country music in the community hall. Hopefully, one day you'll get to see a play performed in the community hall. The foundation will be getting a play of Sailor Springs history together soon. I don't know if that ever happened or not.
Oh, that would be really cool.
That would be kind of fun to do. Put a play on.
Yeah.
The Poultry House was another place of business where you could get some gasoline at the pump. It was behind the post office on the north side of the street. This is my great aunt and uncle. Robert and Alberta Anderson ran the poultry house. Alberta Anderson was Alberta Franklin was one of my grandpa's sisters.
Okay.
The poultry house. They sold feed for the chickens, hog feed, cow feed, and also feed for the horses. They candled eggs for sale. In later years, they had milk, bread, and a few other staples. They were there for several years. Now, Diane, my sister Diane, remembers. She remembers my great aunt and uncle having that store.
Oh, really?
She remembers going there. See, because back in the day, my great-grandparents were Baldy and Josephine Franklin, and they had a house there, and they had one of the original springs in their backyard. So, growing up, and my grandfather's younger brother, Malbert Franklin, lived to be over 100 years old.
Wow.
I think he was 102 when he died, and still lived in my great-grandparents, the house he was born and raised in.
That's cool.
Yeah, with that. Unfortunately, somebody bought it, tore the house down, blah, 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 blah. But so Sailor Springs was always a rich part of our history. But, so that was a really neat. The poultry house, I forgot about that. But it's funny how, he sold all that feed and stuff, but you could still get gas.
Yeah.
Yeah. My great uncle Bob and Alberta didn't have any children. Uncle Bob, it was my mom's uncle, my great uncle. My Uncle Bob, I miss him dearly because Aunt Alberta died of cancer pretty young, and she was old, but Uncle Bob lived to be longer than Aunt Alberta. So then I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Uncle Bob ended up leaving. After all that shut down, Alberta was still alive, and they moved to Clay City. And when you take that England Road to go out to the park, that car wash that's there, my Uncle Bob and my Aunt Alberta lived in it. There was a double wide right there, and he owned that car wash.
Oh.
My Uncle Bob owned that, great Uncle Bob owned that car wash, and he was the king of repairing lawnmowers.
Oh, well,
he was one of them men that could just do anything. The other thing about my great Uncle Bob, my Uncle Bob was on the beaches of Normandy.
Oh, wow.
He survived.
Wow.
He had the Purple Heart.
Oh, wow.
And he was shot storming the beaches. He was shot in the head.
Oh, my gosh.
But he ended up surviving, and then he had a plate, and he had a metal plate in his head for that. But yeah, my great Uncle Bob, who owned a store in Sailor Springs, and then ran a gas station and fixed lawnmowers in Clay City, won the Purple Heart during World War II on the beaches of Normandy.
That's awesome.
I have his Purple Heart. I think I ended up finding. I think I've got the Purple Heart.
Good for you.
Yeah, I think I've got one of my sisters because my mother. My Uncle Bob was my mother's uncle by marriage to my Aunt Alberta, and they didn't have children, so my mother took care of them and took care of Uncle Bob. And he was one of them great old guys, wore glasses, and we would go out to the ranch motel and eat. Every Friday night, Mom and Dad would get him, and Uncle Bob talked real slow.
Oh.
Well, Stacey, how was school today? Well, Uncle Bob, it was great. You know me, blah, 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 blah. Oh, slow down, little girl. You got the rest of your life. But Uncle Bob could fix anything. Great man. I didn't even realize they were in that article until I got to that point of the article. I just grabbed it. I didn't even know what it was going to be about.
Well, cool.
But yeah, great guy. Yeah. Great guy. Great people. They, like I said, they're all buried. I think they're all buried in Dillman. Most of my grandpa's family were from Sailor Springs and are buried in the Dillman Cemetery there in Sailor Springs. Mainly all of his brothers and sisters are, but we're over at Clay City because Granny and Grandpa. But the majority of them stayed up in the Sailor Springs area.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Love Sailor Springs.
So love Sailor Springs.
Yes.
Do you remember any great aunts and uncles when you guys got together?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. They were all a big part of our life.
I know. And today it's not really like that with families. But no, I knew a lot of my great aunts and uncles.
Yeah, I did too. I knew all of my grandpa. Now my granny, my granny was the youngest, and her next sister was her sister Ruby Weaver, and Ruby was like 16 years older than my granny. So great Aunt Ruby was the only one that I knew. On Granny's side. But my grandpa's brothers and sisters, every Thanksgiving, every Easter, every Christmas, it was important. My granny was one of those and then my granny had 6 children, and every Sunday, the entire family, we were raised with aunts, not only great aunts and uncles, but all my mom's brothers and in-laws, brothers and sisters, and all of our cousins. We were all raised on that hill.
Everybody came.
We were all raised on that hill in Clay City. And it's one of those things, when Granny passed away, the entire dynamic of the family changed.
Yep.
People that I used to see almost every Sunday, I hardly ever see unless somebody dies. Of course, all the cousins, we were all close, but then we grew up and some of them moved away. Like Chad's down in Marion, Carbondale, Buffy's up in Chicago. Diane and Linda and I are here. Natalie's over in Olney. But basically, then Caleb and Christy, they're all Indianapolis. Nicole's in Nashville, Tennessee. So basically, the only ones out of the 10 cousins that are still around are Diane, Lynn, and I.
Yeah, it's funny how the wind kind of blows their family members around. You end up in different cities.
It changed everything. Yeah, whenever Granny passed away, oh my gosh, nobody could cook like my Granny. She made the best food. She was always one of those. I don't know what it is about cooks, but Granny would cook and cook and cook and cook, and then she'd leave. She'd get in there and eat. She'd eat, and she'd be the last person to eat. She'd always leave by herself. She's like, by the time I've cooked all of it, it doesn't even look good to me.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that way or not.
I don't think. I've been slaving over this stove. Let me fix me a plate.
Right. Well, and the other thing is like and I don't know how your family did it too, but like, because I took over we do all Easter and Thanksgiving stuff after Granny passed away. My mom did all of them for a while, but her house wasn't big enough, so I just took it all over. But I divvy that out, man. My Granny cooked every pie, every cake. Every ounce of the only thing my dad made the turkey. My dad loved making turkey, and my mom made the dressing. Other than that, my Granny fixed everything. Single morsel we ate. Yeah, which I don't know when this is aired. We're actually filming today is May 14th, which is my dad's birthday.
Oh well, happy birthday to your dad.
So this would have been my dad's. Well, he died in I don't know. I don't do math very well.
Okay.
He died in 97 and was 63. 63 years old. He died in 97. 27. What's 63 plus 27? 63, 73, 83. Oh, my gosh. My dad would be 90 today. Is that right?
I didn't follow your math, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. My dad would be. Yeah, if my dad was alive, he'd be 90 today.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we've been ending this show, instead of with an inspirational quote, we've been ending our shows with Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy, which was a comedy quote skit from one of the writers on Saturday Night Live that used to be on the old episodes of Saturday Night Live, and they are hysterical.
Funny. They're funny. And as soon as we can figure out how to put music to them,
yes,
we're going to.
Okay.
Because it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to change my voice whenever. It's not the same changing my voice.
Oh, okay.
But I will change everything when that happens.
Okay.
Okay. Listen up, guys. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. If God dwells inside us, like some people say, I sure hope he likes enchiladas, because that's what he's getting.
They're just so random and silly, because that's what he's getting.
Because that's what he's getting.
Okay, deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
And you just picture this guy sitting there having a really deep thought, It's like, I hope he likes enchiladas, because that's what he's getting.
If God, because that's what he's getting. That's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's basically, that's funny. Hey, real quick, Beth, we got a minute. Would you tell everybody where they can find us?
Sure. So we are on Wabash Television, Catch TV, channel 100, daily at 11 a.m. Our new episodes air on Thursdays and Fridays, and you can watch all of our episodes on YouTube. So if you've missed one on Wabash and you want to go back and find it, that's where you look, is on our YouTube channel. You can just type in Beth and Stacey, and our channel comes up. Click on that, and it will show you all of our videos. You can also find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page we would like you to like and follow, and it's just called By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Also, you can email us, send us any questions that you might have for us, or topics, show ideas. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is bytheway@bethandstacey@gmail.com.
And I think that's a wrap, girl.
Yeah, so be sure to reach out to us, and thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.
God bless you, and have a great day.